Hello friends, subscribers and new viewers of this channel, and welcome to C++ tutorials. In this C++ tutorial, we explain how to correctly write numerical values to files in C++. More precisely, we will present a minimal C++ code and implementation that will open a file, and then the code will write numerical data to the opened file. The file will be saved as a text file. Then, to test the file and saved data, we will open a file in Python and read saved data as NumPy arrays. Then we will plot the NumPy array. And over here you can see the plot. Here you can see a sine plus cosine function with different frequencies. And over here you can see the C++ code that opens the file, then generates array. Over here you can see that array entries are sine plus cosine function, and finally it saves the data inside of the file. And to show you how the file looks like, here it is. It contains 1,000 rows, and every row is a numerical value that's being plotted over here. So let's immediately start. Before I start with coding, here are a few important comments. First of all, to compile C++ files, I'm using the GCC compiler. Namely, here is the version of GCC compiler for compiling C++ files. It's called G++, and if I type /version, you can see the type of the compiler I'm using. Also, I installed G++ and GCC compiler by installing min-gw. Okay. So let's start. To edit C++ files, I will be using Visual Studio Code. However, you can use any other C++ editor. So let's open a new file, and let's call this file as writedata.cpp. And let's save it in this folder. The first step is to include the necessary libraries. First of all, we need the input-output stream library, since I will be printing some values on the screen. Then I need the include fstream statement. Fstream library is a library that contains class definition for writing and reading data from files. And then finally I need cmath, since I will be using sine and cosine functions. Then, to simplify the notation, I will be using namespace std. And over here, I need to define my array size. So idea over here will be to define an array whose entries are sums of sine and cosine functions, and for that purpose, I need to define the max array size. So I will use this macro. I will say define size array, and let's over here specify 1,000. Over here you don't need the semicolon, since this is a macro statement or preprocessor statement. Here is my int main function, and over here I will return 0. First of all, let's declare array of doubles that will store the numerical values. So let's type double array, and let's specify the size of the array. Here it is. Next, we need to create an object, or better to say, to declare an object that will be used to save the data. For that purpose, we need to type ofstream, and the name of the object will be outstream. So what we did over here, ofstream is output file stream class, and the name of the object is outstream. This class ofstream contains functions and methods that are used to save the data as well as to open different files. Then we need to open a file. So let's type here outstream, then open. And over here I will call the file as data1.txt. So what's happening over here? If the file data1.txt doesn't exist, it will be created. and then data will be stored inside of this file. On the other hand, if data1.txt exists and it contains entries, the entries will be overwritten. So be very careful how you open the file. Over here, there is an option to open the file to append the data. However, to learn how to do that, Google it. Okay, let's continue. Next, I need to declare and initialize a variable that's called dt. And I will set it to 0.01. This variable will be a step size for defining my array. That is, the sign function will be some counter multiplying dt. Okay, let's continue. The next step is to check if we were able to open this file. We can simply check it like this. If, and then over here we will type outstream. Oops, I made an error. Outstream. Then we need to use a function fail. This is a built-in function inside of this class of stream. And then over here, we simply need to print cout could not open the file. And let's end the line. And that's it. And over here, let's exit with 1. So what's happening over here? If we were not able to open the file, outstream fail will return 1, then we will print this message, and then we will exit our code with 1. Exit with 1 means usually that there is an error. Next, let's define a for loop that will create array entries and that will save them in the file. To do that, we'll use a simple for loop. Let's declare a counter and initialize it to 0. The counter should be smaller than size array. Let me just see how I type it. Let me copy it over here. And over here, we will need to type I++. That's it. And inside of this for loop, we will simply assign the entries to our array. We'll type this, array of I, and then let's type sign 3 multiplying I multiplying dt, right? dt is the name declared over here, and that's our sign function. And let's add the cosine term, for example, 2 multiplying cosine, and over here, let's use a higher frequency, for example, 5 multiplying I multiplying dt. And that's it. Let's close this statement. Then let's print the array entries on the computer screen. Let's type this. And then finally, let's save the array entries inside of our file. To do that, we simply need to type outstream. Then over here, I will specify what I want to save. I want to save array I, and then I want to add end line to my file. So what's happening over here? Let's compare this statement and this statement over here. Over here, we are printing our array to cout. That is to the standard out, and in our case, that's screen. On the other hand, over here, we are also printing value. However, over here, we are printing values to our file, and you can see the difference. Now our stream is actually a file, and we define it over here, and this is very important. And over here we are also printing a new line. So array entries will be stored as new lines, that is as simply as rows inside of the file, and this is very important to keep in mind. At the end of the day, you will have something like this. This is our file, and you can see how entries are nicely stored. Okay, so then the final step is to close the file. Don't forget to close the file, so type outstream and then type close, and this will close the file. Okay, let's double check everything. Again, we included the necessary libraries. Then we declare array of doubles. Here's our output file stream object. We are opening the file, we are defining the step size. If we fail, we print could not open the file, we exit with 1. And over here inside of this for loop, we are simply storing the entries inside of the file. And that's it. And finally we close. There are no errors. And this is why I like Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code will be able to automatically detect errors. However, here we don't see any error, and that's good. Okay, the next step is to compile this file. So let's save this file. Let's go back to the terminal. Let's see the file over here, write data.cpp. And to compile this file, I will be using G++ compiler. Then I'll specify the option W all and W. This means that all compiler warnings and errors will be printed to the screen. Then I need to specify the output file, that is the executable file. I will call it as write array, and the extension will be .executable. And over here we need to specify the source file. The source file is write data.cpp. And let's try to compile, and hopefully there are no errors. Now let's again double check everything. Here it is. Here's our write array. So let's run this file, write array, and that's it. And bang. And over here you can see the entries. Now, what is the issue over here? Well, the issue over here is that I didn't add a new line when printing to the computer screen. However, the entries are being properly saved, and you can see that by going here, opening data1.txt, and here are the entries. So let's fix our code over here. Let's close this. Let's go back to the code, and over here, let's just add end line to make sure that we also nicely print everything on a computer screen. Let's save this. Let's go back to the terminal. Oops, let me type it here, and we can run it. Let's compile again. G++, then W all, then W, then output. Let's use the same output, write array, and after that let's specify the name of the file, write data.cpp, and that's it. Let's run this, and let's now execute write array. And if I press enter, now everything will be fine. And over here you can see how everything is being printed out. So to repeat again, the procedure is, first of all, you need to compile. This is the name of the source file. That's precisely this file over here, write data.cpp. Here's our executable file, and here are the basic options. And that's it. Now, let's verify that everything works as it should work. For that purpose, let's go back to Python. Over here, I open Python by using Spider Editor. And I've wrote a small script. This script will actually read data from the file. The name of file is data1.txt. This file is located over here. And then it will load the data and store it inside of the NumPy array. You can see it over here. Then after that we will plot the data, and we will save the data over here as data1.png with the resolution of 600 dots per inch. And finally we will show everything. So let's execute this and press F9, and here it is. Voila! Here's our array. Let's now verify once again that everything works perfectly. For example, let's change this function over here. We can put, for example, 1.0, or let's do 3.0 plus, for example, let's do 5, and over here let's do 0.5, and let's do even higher frequencies. Let's go with 10, and let's save this. Then let's again go back to the terminal. Let's compile this file. Let's run the write array file, and here you can see the output. Let's go to Python, select everything, press F9, and here it is. Here's our plot. Okay, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.